What's going on, folks? It's your boy Manpreet, aka MMA Lock of the Night, and your boy on social media at MMA LOTN, back for a 2023 recap as well as a look forward to 2024 in terms of what type of content I have dropping for you guys, as I do have a couple new things that I want to plug in to try to take this thing to the next level. I'll say it right off the bat, my goal for 2024 is to crack that 10,000 subscriber mark. We've been going at a steady pace over the last year or so, but I want to crank it up a notch, and to do that, you got to add more content, got to be a little bit more visible, and that's exactly what we're planning to do in 2024. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about 2023 real quick. We'll do a quick betting recap, track performances recap, and all that stuff. Couple things I want to touch on in regards to that. Obviously, right off the bat, the overall performance of 2023 for track plays, plus 18.4 units for a 2% ROI. Obviously not where I want the ROI to be. Long term, obviously, that's not a horrible ROI. Obviously, it could be better than that. But just for a actual year, I want it to be much more than that. What I want to hone in on, though, is this is the second best track year in terms of units profited that I've had. And I believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that I stopped giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Like I stopped giving a fuck in the aspect of... if you look back at my track record ever since I started, 2017 was a abbreviated year because that's when I actually started to track it. But in 2018, plus 36.2 units for a 10% ROI. That was me before cracking into the industry. That was me before really caring about what the public perception was of my betting style. And I believe after that is when I really started to suffer from it. The next following year, when, more eyes were on me, I felt the pressure to be just as sharp or try to tackle these sharper lines like a lot of guys try to, and it bit me in the ass. Minus 44 units that year for a minus 9% ROI. Not the type of performance I wanted to do, and I felt myself straying from what got me to the dance initially. I got a little bit of it back the following year in 2020 with the plus 11.6 units and a 3% ROI, but again, suffered from it once again in 2021, minus 20 units and a minus 6% ROI. I still managed to crack profit in 2022 with 13.5 units and a 3% ROI. But again, getting closer to the 20 unit mark. Obviously, I want to be way more profitable than just 18 or 20 units. But I think I'm learning a lot of new things, especially in terms of just sticking true to what got me to the dance initially. And that's what I'm going to continue to do in 2024. I believe the issue, though, also in terms of why it wasn't a better ROI, was I was a little bit more willy-nilly with what I was shooting off at. I was happy to play the chalk when I felt it was necessary, and it paid off for a good chunk of those bets. But I felt like I was just being a little bit too, like I said, willy-nilly. I was more than happy to take chalky spots and spots that I thought were sure spots, and then they would come back to bite me in the ass. But I know... for my lock of the night plays, for example, plus 26.01 units for a 4% ROI, 135 in terms of my record for a 74% accuracy rate. Happy with that. Obviously, I wanted to get closer to 50 units for the lock of the night play. That is going to be my goal for 2024, obviously. But like honing in on the right chalky spots is going to be very important for me, and not just going willy-nilly in terms of just, okay, I think this minus 300 hits. Let's just go 3 units to win 1 unit. I want to be a little bit more conservative in regards to that. Again, not to appease anybody but myself, because I'm looking at the numbers myself and I'm saying, okay, I bet way more units this year than I have in the past. But that's also just because I felt free to bet in the way that I wanted to. Not caring about the chalk or the perception of betting chalk. But I got to hone in on that a little bit more. So like I said, the lock of the night plays solid, profitable, plus 26.01 units, 4% ROI. Happy with that. Dog of the night, I was very happy with as well. 58 and 75 on the year for my dog of the night predictions slash plays for a 44% hit rate, but we profited 10.64 units for an 8% ROI. Very happy with that one. We're just trying to pick one dog that we can invest in for every single event. Again, it's going to be tough to hit more than 50% of underdogs throughout the year, but that's not the goal. The goal is to hit enough that we still end up in the profit, and that's exactly what happened in 2023, and I hope to continue that in 2024. Again, goal for lock of the night plays in 2024 is going to be 50 units, and goal for dog of the night is going to try to double 2023 and go to 20 units instead of the 10 units. But very happy with my performance there. And again, a lot of it has to do with that I stopped caring about people's perception of my style. And that's what's made me, love the game even more than before. It was so much of appeasing other people that I just don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm happy to just play in the way that it got me to the dance originally. And that was the goal from jump, from 2017. That's what I wanted to do. Let the public pressure get to me a little bit. Don't give a fuck anymore. Happy to, have that confidence and stuff back. So I'm going to continue to hone in on that for 2024. Let's talk about a couple of small things in terms of recaps as well. Most profitable lock of the night play was actually a plus money play on LFA 169 earlier last year with Ismail Israelov. I got him at plus 101. Very happy to lock him in as an underdog there. That was the most profitable underdog. The second most profitable underdog came in the PFL Challenger Series, which was way earlier in 2023 with Roland Dunlap. As I cast him around minus 117. Very close fight, very weird fight with the point being taken away in that, if I'm not mistaken. But still, we end up winning that bet and coming through there. And again, I'll touch on the regional stuff a little bit later, or not a little bit later, in a couple minutes here, as I talk about how the regional MMA scene is very profitable and something that if you're not already focused on or privy to, get privy to it. Most profitable underdog was easily Dimitru Gerlin plus 600 at Cage Warriors 152 as he pulled off the upset against Adam Cullen. I believe that was, that was not the main event, but that was a spot that Gerlin went out there and showcased if you can really stuff the takedowns of Cullen and make him work a little bit more, he can slow down, and Gerlin was able to take over in that matchup. Plus 600 was a no-brainer spot for me to take a shot on there. Again, another regional spot where it ends up being very profitable. Best month in 2023 units wise was April, plus 13.25 units for a 13% ROI. In terms of ROI, the best one was February, when I was just kind of easing my way back into the game here, plus 6.19 units for a 39% ROI. I didn't wager too much that month, but was pretty damn good when I was actually wagering. So very happy with that. The worst month was August, minus 13.03 units for a minus 8% ROI. But that is also the month in which I wagered my second most amount of units at 164. That's way too much. The months that I was profitable, I was going no more than, 100 units. Maybe even less than that would be better. But just again, taking this data, taking this information, a whole year of tracked information, and plugging it into 2024 to try to make better decisions. That's why I'm looking back at it and why I'm doing this retrospective as well for you guys. Most profitable promotion was easily PFL. Plus 38.6 units for a 24% ROI. So that includes PFL Challenger Series, PFL straight up, and then PFL Europe. Easily my most profitable promotion. And I normally would only cover them for the regional MMA folks, but considering that they've absorbed Bellator going into 2024, I will be releasing breakdowns for PFL cards as well. So you want to be tuned in for those podcasts when they do come out. yeah, so that's pretty much a wrap on 2023. Looking forward to 2024 in terms of the content that I got coming out for you guys. For those of you that were following my Instagram page, I used to drop a Locky review, which was kind of like a newspaper type post where I would have, a quick write up on the main event, a quick write up on my preferred prelim spot that I would probably fire on, an over under spot as well. And then I'll be having a new segment on there, but I'll be bringing that back. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can do it in a video format as well, so I can have it Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube for you guys. But if you aren't already following the Instagram page, make sure you guys do that, as that will be very important for a lot of the content that's going to be coming out. I just want to make sure that I'm still recording here and we are still good. Okay. So the Locker review will be turning. Also on this channel, on the YouTube channel, I'm going to be adding a couple new segments as well. One of them, the breaking news segment. Whenever there is big news, and I've already done one of these before whenever the UFC 300 matchups were announced, just try to get out that content ASAP, 5 to 10 minutes on whatever that big breaking news is. Give my thoughts on it, just if it's a matchup, whatever it might be, just give my thoughts on it, prediction on it, whatever it might be, and then get a discourse going in the comment section as well. So I would love to see you guys start participating in that, and we can talk about whatever big news it is that dropped, and we can see what else we can capitalize on. Post-event recap. That's another one that I want to do for 2024. So, a lot of the events in 2023, I kind of watched after the fact. I kind of just put it on the back burner. One thing I didn't really like was just having to filter through all the filler stuff, the in-between fights, in-between rounds, just trying to consolidate the amount of time that I'm watching the UFC, considering that it could be a 6-hour broadcast where I could rather just watch it in 2 hours, just skipping through all the nonsense. But what I want to do is get back to watching them properly and then recording my reaction to every single fight as soon as the fight official decision is announced. Maybe even listen to their interview, maybe add in a couple, 1 or 2 things from whatever the fighter may have mentioned in the interview. But I want to give my immediate reaction, whether it's a controversial score, an emphatic knockout, whatever that fight and that result could mean in the fallout for that division, for that fighter on either side, the winner or loser. And then I want to compile them and make just one immediate reaction recap video that I drop as soon as the event finishes. So I know there's a lot of people that want to talk about whatever just happened on the fights. I was usually I wasn't so interested in wanting to do a recap show in the past, but I feel like it would be interesting, just to, especially if I'm able to get it out the night of, or even at least no later than the noon on the Sunday. That's something that I've wanted to do. So I'm looking forward to adding that piece of content to the channel, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then lastly, I do a lot of regional tape studying. I'm doing LFA, Cage Warriors, PFL to me was considered regional until they just bought Bellator, so they're going to be moving to the main channel as well. But also, I'm going to be adding a few more promotions to the studying that I'm going to be doing. And with that, I want to do a regional breakdown once a month on the YouTube channel. So, what would be best would be to choose a off week for the UFC. So, for example, this month in January, the UFC is off January 27th weekend, and there are a couple of regional shows going down that night. So I want to plug in one of those regional shows as a breakdown video for that week, so you guys can still get some content. And if you have access to Bet Online or BetMGM, any of these bookies that allow you to wager on regional shows, you can get some action down still. So once a month, I'll be looking to add a regional show to the rotation of content. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right. Lastly, I just want to touch on the Patreon content that I got coming for you guys in 2024. Obviously, again, the normal subscription would give you access to all of my best predictions and breakdowns for the UFC and Bellator. But now with Bellator disappearing, I'm going to be adding PFL to that tier. So just regular supporters will get access to the UFC and PFL breakdowns. However, for the regional tier folks, I'm going to be adding You'll still be getting LFA and Cage Warriors, but I'm going to be adding quick pick breakdowns for KSW, ACA, and Octagon. So I'm adding 3 new promotions to my studying, which will be getting dispersed to the Patreon folks in the form of quick picks. So if there is anything that I actually want to play or convey to the Patreon folks, they'll get it through the regional MMA tier again for those promotions. Very excited about that. A couple more things that I'm going to be adding to the Patreon for all Patreon folks. Suggested same game parlays. This is something I've been overlooking on the DraftKings site ever since it has come on over here to Ontario, Canada. So I thought I might as well take advantage of it going into 2024. So I'll put out an article every Friday before a UFC highlighting what I believe are the best same game parlays for every single matchup, as well with a confidence level, so you guys can see which ones I'm actually really feeling and which ones I'd probably actually play. And then also I'm going to be adding a little bit more fun for my parlay folks. I know a lot of you guys love getting those degenerate bets in. I normally already have my Hail Mary, my Gabi Garcia parlay that I normally drop, my prop parlay that I drop all on the Patreon. But another thing I'm going to be adding is going to be the parlay party. That's going to be a post that I drop on Fridays where I give you a parlay for plus 100, plus 200, plus 300, plus 400, and plus 500. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be some sort of ladder where I just keep adding a fighter into every parlay to get the odds better. I might shake it up a little bit. So in case maybe the plus 200 does not cash because a fighter ends up fumbling the bag, the plus 400 may still be live because I might have used a different combination of fighters to get that number. So that's something I'm going to be doing in 2024 for all UFC cards. That will be available on the Patreon. If you're interested in that, check that out. I may even throw a teaser during my Locky two-step segments that I drop on a weekly basis, so keep your eyes peeled for that as well. And then lastly, this one will be for the regional tier MMA guys, the fight forecast post. This post will be the pinned post on my Patreon page where I have every single UFC fight that is currently announced from now till whenever. I think the last one right now is announced in March. And I'll have my early prediction loaded for every single matchup. I've already posted this on the page, so take a look at it if you want. But it gives you an early prediction and my confidence rating for every single matchup that is currently announced for the UFC. Once I get through the studying, the prediction may change and the confidence level may change as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But at least this gives you guys an indication of which way I'm leaning for a lot of these fights that have just been announced. I get a lot of people in my DMs, in my comment section, asking what I think about a fight that's 2 months away. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about that yet. But at least with the fight forecast post now, you'll be able to see where my mind is at, how confident I am in it. And once I get around to the actual studying of it, I will update it. Again, might change, might not change, but at least it gives you an idea where my head is currently at and when it will be once I get the studying done. That's pretty much about it for the content. The last thing I want to plug is obviously the MMA Fight Archive. New promotions added to the Fight Archive as well. We got Octagon MMA added to them now. Risen will be added as well. And lastly, Brave is going to be added to the docket there. I believe that's a total of, let me just quickly get this number here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 promotions. 15 if you want to count the Contender Series that have been added to the Fight Archive. We're closing in on that 3,000 fighter profile mark. So if you're looking for ways to easily study up on a lot of these upcoming promotions, again, we got A1 Combat Fighting, KSW, Aries FC, Risen, Brave, Octagon, PFL, UFC, Fury FC, Invicta FC, Cage Warriors, ACA, CFFC, and LFA, and the Contender Series, when that comes back around. Those will all be covered on the Fight Archive so that you have direct links to past fights for all these fighters competing on these cards. I am the best in the world at collecting tape on these fighters, so the best way to ensure that you leave no stone unturned is by checking out the MMA Fight Archive. 7-day free trial available as well, so you can try it out for free and then see what all the hoopla is about. All right. That's pretty much a wrap. I think I touched on pretty much everything I wanted to. I am suited up and ready to go in terms of recording for the first MMA Lockcast of the year. I'll be doing that as soon as I wrap this one up. And you guys can expect those podcasts to drop Monday afternoons. we're going to start off the year on a good note here. UFC Vegas 84, I believe, is the first card. Check that out tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoy this segment. Hopefully you guys enjoy all the new content that's going to be coming your way in 2024 as well. It's a big one. We're cracking that 10K subscriber mark, and it starts one video at a time. Appreciate all you guys. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the first breakdown of the year. Peace.